Hello, everyone. My name is Carolina Ortiz, and today I would like to present improving speaking skills through interactive activities. I would like to thank Instituto Superior de Lenguas for organizing the fourth English Language Symposium in this year 2020. So, I would like to give a little bit of background before I start the presentation. I am the academic director as well for Style Rufinelli Ortiz English, and we represent Trinity College London exams. So these exams offer different like a variety of evaluations, and one of them would be related to graded examinations in spoken English, which is mainly an oral exam that is distributed in different levels. We also have the integrated skills in English, which by its name talks about the integration of skills. So this evaluation also is invited for learners who can present writing tasks, essays, and other tasks that are related to all language skills. And the other evaluations that Trinity presents are Trinity Stars for young learners. This would be including performing arts. We also have ESOL Skills for Life and Secure English Language Tests. But at Style, we're the center of examinations of Trinity in Paraguay. I would like to give you a little bit of information about what levels we are talking about when we talk about evaluations of the oral exam. And then I'm going to show you this interactive task that is truly going to help you improve speaking skills with your students. So if we start from the beginning level, for basics level 1 and on, when we talk about GC exams, we start at GC1 and we finish in GC12, which is one of the highest. If we take a look at the Common European Framework, we see that it goes and it starts from A1 to A2 levels and it grows on. Now, if we transpass this to Trinity ISE, Integrated Skills for Examination, we are going to concentrate on levels ISE 0, ISE 1, ISE 2, 3, and 4. Today, we're going to be concentrating on a B1, B2 level, meaning that we would be working with students that are at a higher elementary intermediate stage of their proficiency. Yeah. If we compare these exams to others from Cambridge, we can see that if we concentrate for the ISC2 level, that is my level of proficiency that I would like to talk about today, we're aiming at B2 levels according to the Common European Framework. We're aiming to Cambridge exams such as the first examination, and we have this average for TOEFL and IELTS. When we talk about speaking activities, we need to incorporate this in our classes, right? So this examination evaluates the confidence in which the student can maintain a conversation, is able to present or to talk about a specific topic. So in GC exams, what they want is students to prepare a mini topic of their choice, but they should follow certain parameters of the grammar point. In ISC levels, the same thing. They have to present a listening task. They can listen to a specific audio and they will be asked about the audio. They also have to present a topic. And there is one of the tasks that is called interactive task or collaborative tasks, depending on the level of the exam. So we're going to concentrate on that. Like topic phase. What do we mean by topic phase? I want you to think about what are the moments that I incorporate or that I create scenarios in my class so that my students can improve their speaking. One of them would be to open a space where they present a topic, when they choose a topic. So what do they do with this? They have the candidates have the opportunity to show what they can do in English with this topic phase interaction. They use the communicative skills, language functions, and language items of the grade. They use the link sentences together to talk about subjects at some length, and they lead a discussion on a topic. So those are key aspects of interactive tasks, and also aspects when we want students to present a topic. We don't want students to present a topic by memory. We don't want them to learn a script by heart. What we want in this topic phase is we want them to think about a topic that is of their interest. We want them to create opportunities so that they can present this to an examiner that is evaluating their level. And this is a one to one exam. Again, this is not a group exam, it's a one to one interview exam. During the conversational phase, candidates can exchange information and ideas and opinion with the examiner. They take more responsibility for maintaining and sustaining a conversation, and they display their ability to use communicative skills, language functions, and language items. So these are the main objectives of this exam. Examiners are constantly checking for these objectives, like they want to see how much the candidate is able to communicate, to keep a conversation going, to initiate and to end a conversation. If you concentrate on GC level, like on GC 7, which is going to be at the intermediate level, take a look at all the grammar aspects that we are going to consider, like um, second conditional, for example, passive voice, used to, relative clauses. We want to make a rubric so that we know what language we are expecting at this stage. So at a given time of the exam, within those 5 to 7 minutes of a conversation phase, the examiner is after um, paying attention to the student's production of the language, right? The student has to use this type of expressions. Like, for example, if they talk about national and local products, like if you start in an export business, what local products would you sell? These are type of questions that they ask um, to the candidates so that they can hear if the candidate is able to produce in the grammar expectations. Take a look at the topics for education, for early memories, village and city life, and cost and pollution. I'm going to give you 1 minute of silence so that you can see the task. So take a look at the areas of recycling, which is going to be this last row. If you were the president, how would you protect the environment? Yeah. So, what's measures uh, uh, take, and what are the measures taken to reduce pollution and recycle in your city? These are type of questions that students could be asked during this conversational phase. Then we jump into the collaborative task or the interactive task. And this is my main point of the presentation for tonight. Yeah. So we have through the interactive task, students can demonstrate their independence as users of English. They can understand and use the language functions of the grade. They can take control over and maintain the interaction and participate in an authentic exchange of information. So they didn't prepare, they didn't they are there just waiting for a prompt, waiting for a scenario. So what happens here? um, we start interaction by asking more information. You need to ask, if you're a candidate, you need to ask the examiner questions and make comments. If you're a candidate, you invite the examiner to make comments and you take responsibility for maintaining interaction. These are the basic skills of this phase of the exam. Like, this is a moment where the student is invited to fulfill all these objectives. He's supposed to be taking responsibility and maintaining. So I have a question for you. How many times do you organize activities so that you give the ball to students so students can maintain the conversation, so students can start interaction among each other, not depending on you, always you asking the question and having them answer? How many times have you created scenarios? Well, especially this year that we have been working with online classes due to the pandemic. I know it was harder, but how many times did we organize breakout rooms? How many times did we ask one student to ask another and we would witness it? Typical reaction is no, my students are shy. No, my students lack. Well, the point is, are we giving them enough expressions that they can use and that they can refer to when answering the questions? The big problem stays there because we forget that we need to visualize and they need to have an example of expressions that they need to have when interacting with others. So, for example, if I have to give advice, what expressions would I use? You should, you ought to, if I were you. Yeah. Making suggestions. Why don't you? Have you thought about? When describing past habits, I used to, we would. Expressing possibility. That might help. I'm not sure about expressing agreement and disagreement. I see what you mean. I'm not sure I agree. Highlighting advantages. On the one hand, such and such and such. However, on the other hand, but this doesn't stay only in one slide. I would suggest you to print this or have students have these expressions on one side. So when they practice this stage of interaction or interactive phase with you or the partners, they can refer to these expressions. Yeah. It's easy to say, oh, we cover that in the unit. No, 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 no. You have that on the site. You have a printed site, a printed page that you can refer to. So these are check marks. Like this is the assessment for the examiner. And so the examiner would be checking if the student, when he's reaching to the interactive task, he's able to ask for further information. Like, is he just asking simple questions for the prompt that I'm giving, or is he expanding? Is he asking more questions about it? Is he giving advice? Is he describing past habits? Is he asking about it? Does he have the ball on his side? Is he demonstrating that he can be responsible for maintaining a conversation? So, this is one example of an interactive phase demonstration prompt that you could do in your class. Yeah, depending on if you're taking the exam or not, you can still do this in class. It's very useful, and that's why I thought I should share this with you tonight. This is an example that is found in their website of Trinity. And of course, at the Institute, we celebrate these type of activities too. Look at this. You are going to pretend to be the examiner, you as the teacher. Yeah. You have to read out the instructions and the prompt. You will need to invent a story to help to help keep the conversation going. So you can use the hints to help you think of ways to say. So you open up a prompt. And I will show the prompts later. You give a prompt, but you are responsible to keep the conversation. I mean, you to answer questions that your student is asking, and you need to create a scenario in your mind. Yeah. So for the next part, I'll tell you something. Then you have to ask me questions to find out more information. You need to keep the conversation going. After about 4 minutes, I will end the conversation. This is going to be the instruction that the examiner gives during the exam. This lasts 4 minutes. This phase lasts 4 minutes. But during those 4 minutes, he will be evaluated upon these standards, as I was sharing, right? And he will be expected to use these expressions. So he knows what to expect. He knows where he's going, right? Okay. What would be the prompt? My local college has a great range of courses, and I would really like to study something, but I'm not sure which course to take. So this is you as a teacher giving a prompt to the student. And the student looks at you and he goes, hmm. So he can not necessarily give you a suggestion right away. He can ask more questions so that he can get more information about this situation. And then at the end, he can give some suggestions. But this is not about I am sick, I don't know what to do. Oh, you should go to the hospital. We're not talking about that. We're talking about interacting. We're talking about going deeper and inferring through answers that you give so that he can ask you more things and he can give comments. Again, I will rewind. I will look at this. We would be expecting him or her to use this type of expressions when describing past habits, when asking for certainty, when giving advice. Okay, so for example, if you are the teacher, you need to keep in mind these hints. You haven't studied college for some years and you feel nervous. This is information that you can have on your side. You're not sure if you would choose something physical or academic, but when you were at school, you used to be at art. You used to be good at art. Your family thinks it's a good idea. Advantages, you would be able to do something independently. You would be able to meet new friends. And disadvantages, you would have to go alone, but no other friends, with no other friends. So this is information that you can keep for the story because he's going to ask you questions and you need to have these hints to keep it going. Or, of course, you can create a scenario on your own, but it's important for you to maintain a conversation so that you give confidence to your student that you will always try to have some information on the other side. Another example of an interactive phase would be you are going to pretend to be the examiner and you have to read this prompt. For the next part, uh, this is the instruction again that talks about 4 minutes, and the prompt goes, I want to explore this area at the weekend, but I don't know where to go exactly and which is the best way to travel. So you as a teacher, you give this prompt and the student is going to start asking questions. But again, you need to have at least 2 to 3 hints in mind so that you will be able to answer questions that he asks. So this conversation is real. This conversation has a fundamental objective, like he knows where he's going. Yeah. These are several prompts that they provide at the website, and I'm going to give you a minute. Maybe you want to uh, go over some of them. Maybe you want to take notes of some of the expressions that you find interesting. Again, you don't necessarily need to be taking this exam, but you can create opportunities for students to interact among each other and learn to ask questions, to go deeper, and to learn more information about a situation. Okay, I'm sure that you're choosing maybe one that is calling your attention. For example, the one that calls my attention is number 5. It's my nephew's 7th birthday next week, and he has asked for a mobile phone. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. So then you can start having a conversation about what are these students' beliefs and what is his impression and what are some of the suggestions that of what are the other things that I could buy my nephew. But he has to ask me about what other interest my nephew has, right? So we're going to interact with this. This is a beautiful, beautiful way to create interaction and to evaluate speaking skills. I would like to thank um, the Instituto Superior de Lenguas for this opportunity, and I really encourage you to continue promoting interaction in your class. Enjoy. Thank you.